Alright, what's going on, everybody? It's the Thehunter, and today we're going to be doing something I've been wanting to do for a really long time, but I finally decided now's the time. I've been doing the red deer grind for absolutely forever, and I've got quite a few rares stacked up on my map, and it's probably time we shoot them. They're just kind of adding to the pool of animals that I'm not shooting. It doesn't make sense. If we're wanting to get a great one to spawn, we got to shoot more red deer. They're starting to impact me being able to actually go and shoot red deer, so I figured we'll clear some out. So I figured I'd make it a challenge on myself. It wouldn't be that interesting if we just went through and simply shot these guys. It would be pretty easy doing so. So we've got a decent level 6 piebald here. However, and this is actually our newest rare to actually spawn in, but I've actually got one bigger at the next lake over. But we're going to try out our bow skills on this guy, see how close we can get, and see what we can accomplish. I don't see anything else of interest here, so let's sneak up in here. I do have the red deer collar on me. Not sure how effective it's going to be, but we'll see what happens. So far, so good as far as the wind goes. Now, the next lake, definitely going to be impactful. Now, unfortunately here, we've got him responding to the call, but the wind is going to become an issue. I would imagine by the time they make it to here, he's going to become well aware of our presence, but that's well within bow range. Unless, of course, his harem gets in the way. That could be an interesting factor. Alright, he appears to be arriving right on cue. He is alert because of the wind. Took the shot. It looked pretty decent. His vitals are dropping already. I'd say we at least got a double lung on him. Let's watch him as he goes down. Boom, goes the dynamite. In fact, if he's just going to be hanging out here, might as well try to shoot him as well. Kind of a bonus. A little bit further than the other guy was. That was a risky shot, but in theory, with the bow, unless it got real bad, yeah, unfortunately, he is going down, though. Interesting. I'm kind of curious to see where exactly that arrow went. Looks like pretty decent shot placement there. Did get the double long. Now, if I had bow perks actually spec'd in there, like pumping iron and all that stuff, we would have probably been a lot more effective on them. But let's go ahead and taxidermy him. Move on to the next one. Well, just judging by the tracer shot there, we gave him the old Texas heart shot. I'm pretty sure we clipped liver or something because he did die. That's exactly what happened. I actually got stomach. That was just enough to bring him down, so I guess it worked. If we had pumping iron, we would have actually completely blown through that. Now, this lake is the special lake. We've got one really decent level 7 piebald here, and we've got several other rares at this point where I'm actually spawning to now. They're not going to be here because, well, I'm literally on top of their need zone. However, our next shooter is right there. Much bigger, much better improvement over the one that we just shot. So let's get... Luckily, actually, the wind shifted a little bit, so this should be pretty decent. Now, the rares over here are going to be tough. Alright, so this guy appears to be attracted to the call. His friends are coming in much, much sooner than he is, of course. So let's go ahead and spam the call just a little bit, try to get him to actually want to come in. There we go. He seems a little more committed now. Now, them going around waterways when you're calling them, it's always been an issue in Call of the Wild, and hopefully that doesn't hinder us here. Looks like he made it around just fine. So if he gets... I'm hoping he gets about here. At least I'm pretty comfortable with 60 yards, especially with this bow sight. But not having any of those perks put into bows, the wind is absolutely going to be a factor at this range. Now, I know I said that I wanted to use the bow, however, we do have the 308 for any sort of uncooperative red deer, and he seems to be just that. He keeps getting about 90 meters out and just turning around, not wanting to come in. We may just shoot him to get this over with here. It's unfortunate, but we've got several more rares to take out, and hopefully they'll be a little more cooperative. Should have been a pretty good shot. Hopefully he doesn't land in the water. He's down right there. Just gonna check the other side of the lake here, make sure there's no others hanging out. We appear to be good to go. And if we're lucky enough, by the time we get over here, these guys will have spawned in and we'll get around. Alright, so this dude, in comparison to that 6 we just shot, is an absolute stud. He's going to look great in Lodge. Alright, on to the next. As you can see, we've got red deer on the other side of the lake, but we might be a little too close and have spooked. Nope. This guy I'm very interested in. We've got a level 6 Melanistic hanging out here, and we should have an albino as well. However, I don't see him anywhere. Might have to do a time change or two. And then again, we may not be far enough away. He may be at a slightly different need zone that's about there. So let's try to get a little bit closer to get this Melanistic to come in. Truth be told, even though the wind is going to carry this thing like crazy, I kind of want to attempt a shot. Oh, he just fast traveled a little bit there. Kind of want to attempt a shot at 95. We just missed. The wind didn't actually carry that arrow all too bad. Surprisingly, that's a hit. And for whatever reason, it shows it on his back end. Let's try to get a follow-up with the 308 here. Try to make up for that. And unfortunately, looks like we've ruined yet another rare. I'm not exactly sure what happened. I mean, that's my fault, obviously, because we were taking shots at an animal at very long ranges with the bow, but I felt pretty confident in it, and in theory, him facing us like that, unless right as we pulled the trigger, he just happened to turn. Either way, pretty unfortunate, but if history holds true, we're definitely going to be seeing another one of these before I ever get my great one. So that arrow just barely clipped flesh somehow, which is unfortunate. It's going to cost a lot to repair this guy, but even though the trophy is ruined, technically, he's still a decent Melanistic. We're going to take him and put him in the lodge. And I don't have any rares at this lake yet, nor do I have any here. I've got one here that definitely needs to be shot. This guy I have been looking at for absolutely forever. This is actually one of the first rares that spawned in. I thought, well, let's just give it a couple run-throughs and see what else comes in. And then they just kind of kept spawning, and I've been staring at him for far too long. So let's get a little bit closer, try this color thing again. But at this point, I kind of want to no nonsense, just kind of shoot him. Without having any bow perks, unless they're very, very close, it's kind of actually hard to hit them accurately with the bow. So we're probably going to give up on that endeavor. Now, of course, when it's time to shoot the great one, we're obviously going to need to brush up on our bow skills, but that's one of those, that's a bridge we're going to have to cross when we get to it, and unfortunately, right now is not that time. Slowly but surely making his way over here, but again, calling animals in around the water is actually kind of difficult because they get hung up on stuff like that. Let's go ahead, take that shot. 308, not the best red deer gun. I prefer 30-06 personally, but it got the job done. Alright, this beauty's down right here. This is definitely a really nice albino. We'll take it. Now, I do have to admit that getting these rares this ways feels a little diluted to me because honestly, it's way more special whenever I'm on a random multiplayer server or on a map that I'm not actively grinding something when you see one of those pop up, but it's still pretty fun to get out here. This lake is going to be interesting to navigate. We're going to try to shoot these guys with the 308. They're very far away, but we should have another albino and possibly a piebald. All right, these guys are finally deciding to come on out to play. I don't like taking frontal shots like that typically in red deer with the 308 because, like I said earlier, it is underpowered and punching through that front chest plate is kind of difficult for it, especially at these ranges. Now, if he will cooperate, we did make a bad shot. Just kind of the ongoing theme right now, unfortunately. I don't know if we can get a shot on him or not. We hit something, but it's going to take us plenty of time to get around this lake. Interesting development. This piebald that's here is actually new. I didn't realize he was here with this group. He must have came in He might actually be a respawn from one of the animals that we just shot, because this zone hasn't moved at all whatsoever, and I didn't expect to see him there. There's our 6. Again, unfortunately, I don't think we're going to taxidermy these 2 because we do have bigger and better in the lodge. We've already got 2 6s that we just added, and I don't want to be, well, I don't know. It's hard for me because I don't want to waste valuable trophy lodge space, but then again, it is kind of nice to look back at the grind and just see everything that we shot. This guy appears to be new as well, because at one point the only males that were over here were the rares. So interesting development. I'm kind of curious to do another run through after this to see exactly what we've got. Something that I have learned from this, though, is stacking rares seemingly does absolutely nothing for your grinds. It doesn't seem to add any sort of new rares or anything like that, and I don't recommend it unless that's something you're into, because these guys have been here far longer than, for most of the 5,000 kills that I've gotten at this point, they've been here. So when we go visit the Trophy Lodge, we're not going to be going to the 2024 Lodge. We're going to be going to a little bit of a different one to put these guys in. Now, the reason we're not putting these guys in the 2024 Lodge is because, well, while they were technically shot in 2024, they've been there. They've been alive and well since way before the new year, so they don't deserve to go in that lodge. Now, anything after this point, we're absolutely going to put in the 2024 lodge, but we'll see. There we go. 6 rares. Not too shabby. Again, just to summarize, I don't think stacking rares has any sort of effect. This has been many, many months in the making, and all it did was take up 6 spaces of animals I could have been shooting. We could have gotten the red deer by now had I shot one of these earlier. Who knows? I guess only the future will tell.